detail.
I can't help but laugh. I'll have to check this out. It's not a big deal at all, but we apparently, like, on YouTube, like, now, like, we'll sometimes get flagged if it's, like, we can't monetize off something. Apparently our theme song, which I got off of freesoundbits.com, which is, like, one of the sites that Temple let us use. Oh, but anyway, we'll jump into it. Here we go. It is Monday, April 5th. Welcome everyone to Living Room Sports Talk. Can't recall, Zach Rothenberg with us. Dude, we're getting off the hiatus here. It's funny. It feels a little weird. I'm like watching the Marlins over here lose, and you know, it's everything's a little different from a week ago. You know.
I know we have baseball. We got NCAA. March Madness is we're coming to an end. A lot's going on. It's Masters Week. There's tons of sports on TV.
Channel right now. I was about to say, I'm trying to fix the Marlins channel right now. Like, you get that free week of MLB extra innings. I'm going to take full advantage of it. And of course, they're going to lose a few games, right? Like, it's not like that, like the 1 week where everything's kind of fun for a second. Like they're winning, and then I'm having fun for like a second. Maybe I want to buy. No, they're just gonna lose. All right, we'll get into that in a second. I don't even want to, I don't want to see him right now. All right, Zach, it's good to be back though. Yeah, you can see I'm trying, dude. I got the hat on. I'm trying my best.
Hey, you got the support.
Yeah, did you have a nice weekend, though? We're in April now. March is over. The weather's starting to get warmer. Masters around the corner. How you feeling?
Yeah, it was good. Easter was nice. Got out to the driving range. We got to enjoy the nice weather here in southeastern PA while we can. So, yeah, it was good.
You have to.
How about yourself?
Yeah, no, it was good. I saw the family for Easter, and yeah, it was good. I feel like it's funny how us living in the Northeast of the country, how like we always want to live in like Florida or California or whatever, like those like tropical or warm places or whatever. But it's amazing how like those seasons when they change, it's just so nice. I just love that feeling. I don't know. It's a little plus in Pennsylvania, but you know what I don't like the feeling of clickbait, Zach. But I'll tease the show real quick before we jump into it. So we got national championship tonight. Dude, that game was nuts. By the way, Saturday night.
What a dagger.
It was like the opposite of the first game with Baylor and Houston.
Yeah, the complete opposite.
See, it's funny because I felt like that game, I almost feel for the Houston fans, and we'll get to this in a little bit, but I feel like that's the game where I'm just sitting there like I'm all horned up for like my team being in the Final Four, and then they just get trashed. Like, and it's just over from the jump. You're like, oh, no. Like, I feel for those teams that go through that experience where you're just because it's almost so bad you like almost shrug off like was it almost worth even going all together? Like that's how bad it is. But like that feeling.
Oh, I get it, big time. Been there before.
Yeah, we all have. So, all right, we'll obviously talk about all the March Madness hoops and get into that. And Zach, I know you're pumped up for Masters Week, so we'll get into all that as well. And then the NFL had some groundbreaking news about 2 hours ago, like you were saying before we jumped on the old show here, Zach. And the NFL had a 17-game schedule announcement last week that we'll dive into. And I know you had a great poll question for our social media circuit, Zachary. You know where I feel with this. Oh, look at this. We got the chat rolling already. That was about to say we got the chat. Look, we got Big Neen already saying go Zags. Let's get all of this. Are we on the Zags bus right now?
I think so. I can't stand Baylor. You know how I feel about Baylor. They're proving me wrong, but you know how I feel.
I actually have a special note in here about this. So Zach, here we are. Like I'll do that whole thing. Like I'll build up the dramatics of it. Like when I start releasing their film, and it'll look cool and. It won't, but I'll just pretend like it is in my mind. But anyway, all right. So real quick, do you want to, before we jump into the national championship, do you want to do some clickbait? And we got Monday Monday, by the way, too, but for later on the show. But go ahead.
Clickbait, there wouldn't be clickbait if it wasn't for LeBron James and ESPN, plain and simple. So it's just so stupid. ESPN had a post, and it was LeBron James' social media post about him waking up and missing the game and how bad he wants to get back on the court. I mean, no clue why this even made any type of headline or social media or the fact that ESPN wastes their time and their eyes looking at their phone while they put this on there. It's just insane. It's just, who cares? Who cares?
I know. Like, seriously, I didn't even look to see how many people liked it. Like,
I saw 260 people share it. And I'm like, really? I feel bad for you, 260, however many people, because the fact that you share something like this just shows your lack of depth when it comes to sports.
They're also the one probably sharing, the article I'm going to pull up here, Zach. It's funny because it says Your favorite team probably won't win the World Series this year. So when will they? And I'm so glad I clicked on this article because I was just wondering, when are the Marlins going to win a World Series? Certainly not this year, from what I'm seeing. But and I thought, and I was like, I wonder if there's an article that actually tells you that answer. Just it's like genie in a bottle, and apparently ESPN has that, Zach. ESPN Plus, that also.
Oh, you pay for it. Oh, you pay for this. What is this?
Oh yeah, you pay for the plus.
Is this like some psychic prediction here? Come on.
Apparently.
That's ridiculous.
God. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how we have like our little outlets to pick from, but no, there's a lot to pick from, I think, from this weekend with baseball. By the way, it's not clickbait. Your article on the Masters, which we're getting kudos in the chat, was saying there was an awesome article.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. But also, real quick, before we jump into the Masters, you want to just jump into some college hoops?
Oh, yeah. I mean...
All right, let's do it. Whew. Well, it's funny how I'm going to pull it up. Just what once was a clean bracket, Zachary. Not anymore.
What's interesting? My bracket versus your bracket, I feel like was completely different as far as our what we were going with. Like you had a lot of upsets and I didn't, and we ended up. I think we're tied right now. We
ended up pretty much the same place.
So it just goes to show that anything can happen. This year's been the most crazy bracket I've ever been a part of.
Oh yeah, and also shout out to Stanford, the women's team winning last night the national championship in the women's bracket.
That was huge, and also shout out to Arizona for getting there. No one, I don't think really many people expected them to be in the championship game.
It seemed like a lot of people bet on that game too, from what I saw on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of pools and betting and gambling, let's do a little like you were saying, Zach. So we are not exactly the experts apparently in our own pool. That's all right. It's all right. We let our audience show the way, dude. This is great. It just shows how smarter they are than we are, but that's okay. But we got JB is in the 1 spot, and then Rob JD3 is in the 2 spot, and then Bryson, it looks like, is in the 3 spot, and then Joe P is in the 4 spot. Look at that. So that's your final 4 right there.
There you go.
It looks like everyone's got the Zags. So I can't imagine that he's going to really shuffle tonight.
There is one person I think who has whatchamacallit, Baylor winning it though.
Really?
I think, and they're.
Was it Johnny Weasel 3?
I think so.
I saw that. It's funny because I had one of those moments where you just forget things in the middle of the day, and I cut him out because I was like, I was going to make the standings smaller and then add more people, and for whatever reason, when I was looking, I was like, I thought he had Houston in my head, and I was just like, oh, well, that's over anyway. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm an idiot. Baylor. So Johnny, I apologize, whoever that is. It's not the great John Henry, but.
Yeah, so I think if Baylor wins, then he would have it because everyone else took Gonzaga. So it's coming down to a championship game as always.
It really is, and to that point, it's a hell of a showdown. Gonzaga, yeah, it's a little fun. I get the Philadelphia accent.
Are you gonna stay up to watch it? I know they don't tip off till 9:30 Eastern.
No, are you serious? I was about to say when's the tip off, 8:40 tonight.
It's 9:20, 9:30. They say 9:20, but in reality, it's probably 9:45 or 9:43, something crazy like that.
So here's the thing: I'm gonna come in with maybe a different perspective. Am I gonna stay up for it? I'm gonna try. That's the answer. That's the honest answer. I don't know. I'm gonna try my best. I think I will.
The chat's got it's 9:20.
I think a lot of chat. Oh, perfect. And I think a lot of it depends on how the game goes, right? But let's just say, for all intents and purposes, it's a good game. Yeah, I think so. But I'll throw this out there. It's 7-11 right now, right? Okay. So if you're out on the West Coast. And I know people say they don't care. I'm like, okay, but they care about this, especially if you're Gonzaga. They're on the West Coast, so those fans care. The game would start at what? 5:30?
6:20.
If you did 8:30, yes, it'd be 6. It'd be 6:20 if you did it at 9:20 out here.
Yep.
So that's kind of fair, right? You eat dinner and you throw the game on. So I get, I've worked out there. I hated getting back and most of the games were over already. I'm like, well. And granted, I know it's not about the handful of people out west, but you know what I mean. My point is, I can see why for this. I'll give him this, but I don't know. Just try to play devil's advocate to be nice today.
No, I like it. It's a good approach. And hey, for those in Central Time Zone, the Baylor faithful, it's 8:20 for them. So in reality, it's prime time. So it's perfect for them.
Dude, I'll just say one thing real quick. So, I travel a lot for work. I was on this really weird streak where either the football or the basketball national championship I was on the road for, and I was always in the Central Time Zone for every single time. It was just a complete fluke. I was in different places just throughout the West or the Central Time Zone, and it's just so much better. it's just so much better. You just literally get an extra. It's like, hey, do you want that extra hour? You're like, do you want that extra hour of sleep? Yeah, why not? It's like, yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I remember, speaking of that, I remember being out in near Los Angeles when the Cubs won the World Series. And, of course, the World Series ended, and it was only, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night out there. So, of course, everyone I was with, we were down in the hotel lobby, getting rowdy. So that was a nice thing about it, when you're in the West Coast and your team wins, and, you have the rest of the night still.
Dude, I watched the Packers game out there. It was week 2. They played the Vikings at 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, they won. It's 1 o'clock. I'm like, all right. We got the whole day. They won. Woo. All right. It's a great feeling.
But if they lose, it's the worst day ever because it just drags on.
God. Then I'm literally just someone that the stick figures in the commercials for depression where it's he didn't want to go to work. He didn't want to do anything. It's
speaking of the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is hosting Jeopardy.
It's my Mojo Monday, actually.
Oh, okay. We'll say that.
Sneak preview. Yeah, I got some stats behind it. This is a spoiler alert for make sure the audience sticks around for the whole show. I love the chat. I love how the chat's already saying it's too late of a time.
It is too late.
Is it? You think so?
For me, it is. I mean,
yeah.
I've been falling asleep at 10:30 lately.
You don't get work insurance. You don't get the next day be like, hey, sorry, I stayed up for the national championship. I was like, oh, okay, I understand. I was I got into work late because my car broke down last night. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's no 2-hour delay.
Sympathy for the,
there's no 2-hour delay. Yeah.
They should put that in a sports 2-hour delay. You have 3 instead of PTO have 3 of those. I had to stay up late for a sports game. Just give me that. That whole thing.
Yeah, some cushion. Just a little bit of cushion.
Yeah, and look, you just saying in the chat, ball's life, it's never too late. Why now?
Yeah. True.
All right, but that's it. Let's real quick before we jump into the whole national championship. Let's talk because we haven't been on the air for a week. Whew, dude, that game. I mean, let's start with the good one. I think we don't have to really jump into how Baylor absolutely annihilated Houston. Paint me a picture of what's going through your mind in the last 10 seconds of this game.
Well, first off, I loved how UCLA. I love how the guy missed the layup and then got his own rebound and laid it back in. Missed the floater, rebound, and followed the shot, got back in. Love that. I love seeing that type of basketball. But then when they inbound it, there was no any defense or any contention on anything. I understand because what's the chance of him making a half court or close to half court shot? I get it, but there was nothing in Suggs' way, and he just goes up and banks it in and walks off.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? You can't if he misses that shot. Is anyone saying? I mean, I know he missed it, but that defense was so bad that God forbid that if the shot doesn't go in, we're not probably talking about that how they didn't address the ball because I'm almost watching it a second time in my head. I'm thinking, all right, well they're probably just trying to foul, just get back.
Right,
But you're right. I mean, it's all those little details though. And think about it, when you see it again, there is a handprint that's right in his face at the end of it. It's not it was completely uncontested. I mean, that's just basketball, right? I mean, that's just sports in general. It's just a hell of a shot. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it, right? I mean, is it a lucky shot? Yeah, it's a lucky shot. I mean, I know they say they practice that all the time, and let me take it back. It's not a lucky shot. It's just not no matter how many times you practice that shot, it's not a high percentage shot, right? Just the difficulty of it. That being said, you give Gonzaga a lot of credit for Jalen Suggs practicing that shot, then going through all that stuff, because they knew exactly. I mean, to your point, that's why they were able to get up the floor in 3. I think both of our points are actually kind of correct. Right, UCLA didn't really do anything wrong. I was watching to see if the Phillies just went yard there. It's off the top of the wall. I don't know why. I was just so curious to see. But anyway, so it's funny because me and my dad were just talking about extending plays to third base. That's why I wanted to just see it so badly. And Hoskins just tried to do that. And granted, it wasn't with 2 outs, but still. All right, anyway, let me get back to the point. So, all right, my point is, though, you can have it both ways in the sense that, UCLA, they got back. They didn't do anything stupid. But at the same point, Gonzaga ran that play so well. They got off the floor so quickly that, it was still, But anyway, I didn't want the game to end. It was one of those weird things where I wanted Gonzaga to win, but my heart wanted UCLA, not because I didn't want UCLA to win. I didn't want LA, Southern California, and they've won enough, obviously, that program. So just I wanted Gonzaga to win, but I just the way UCLA was playing was just so sexy. Like it was
just
an
11. Yeah, it's an 11.
Yeah, lockdown stops. Like it looked like they had 6 guys out there on the floor. Like the way they were getting off screens and moving around and communicating on D. And then, like you were saying, the way they were grinding and fighting and getting rebounds and then making those shots. And they also shot like close to 60%. Like it was just fun to watch them just take those like really cool like 8 to 14 like foot shots, like those good percentage shots, and just nailing them. I was like, wow. And then the ones they didn't get, they're just banging on the boards.
No, I know.
So I had to do that real. I was, oof.
No, that was good. No, that was good. Yeah, I mean, they have nothing to hang their heads, about either. I mean, like I said, an 11 seed that had to play in to even get into the 64, the field of 64, and they make it all the way to the Final Four. It's a heck of a story. So no one likes to lose, obviously, but no one expected them to be there, probably besides themselves. So, or people who went to UCLA who just are homers and took them to go all the way. But
and it's incredible too, right? Their pedigree. I mean, just like how much is that? I mean, because people say like everyone loves to laugh at them because they haven't won a national championship, but dude, they've been to 12 straight tournaments where they've won at least a game.
That's impressive.
Like they're used to winning games. I don't want to keep saying they weren't battle tests. I'm like, they go to the tournament every year. like that. They see good teams. They've been to 6 straight Sweet 16s. I mean, like they're the real deal. So I want to just maybe clear that up. That's the one point I wanted to take away from that game. I think everyone's like thinking about tonight's game and saying, well, it was UCLA. That's not very good. I'm like, UCLA played really, really good. Yeah. I really enjoyed watching them play. I thought they played great. But that's why this was such a great game and why we can talk about it being such a great game, because both teams played really well. And I said to Joe Pia once, I was like, whether it was yesterday or I think it was yesterday, I was saying to him, like, the cool thing too, not the cool thing, because I know he was pulling for Gonzaga, so I know he didn't love the missed free throws, but I was saying there was some human side of both. Like, there were enough missed shots and some missed free. Like, both teams had enough to like correct, but it was still a great game. Like, you know what I mean? It just seemed like a very human game to me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to put it. I agree, and we'll see how that type of game leads them into tonight's game.
So about that, Zach.
Oh boy, I know. Roast me.
I know, it's the Devils here. Well, I mean, not for me so much. I mean, no. Hold on. Let me step in real quick. There's no reason to hang your hat. You said Baylor sucked last year. Last year was last year. You said it a COVID vaccine ago, a COVID virus ago. Come on. So don't rip yourself for this. But dude, they're good. They're really good. I have so many stats I want to just reel off about this matchup. But like, I want you to go first, just because. Yeah, this guy Baylor's no joke.
In the theme of Easter, I'll repent to Baylor. So, I mean, listen, Baylor really showed themselves to me when they played Villanova in the Sweet 16, and I think Villanova lost that game themselves, but I also think Baylor played very aggressive and phenomenal defense, and they just kind of outran them towards the end of the game. As my pen falls apart. But and then you look at just the way they've been playing every team since then, they're just blowing people out of the water. There hasn't been a close game at all. Like, since that second half of the Nova game, they've been in complete control. And I think that they're just out hustling, out muscling, and just seems like they want it more right now. But, we'll see. I think tonight, we'll see what happens tonight. I could see either team winning tonight. It's a close one.
So I'll start with Baylor, and then we can talk about Gonzaga's like matchup and stats in this game too. Almost be Baylor's hype man. Whew. Dude, Zach, all right, first of all, they lead the NCAA in 3-point percentage, almost just under 42%. And like, that to me stands out because I look at it, I'm like, well, yeah, if you shoot like that, that's what UCLA did. And yeah, if you do that, like, yeah, you definitely have a shot because these guys at Gonzaga can score. And this is me not being, I'm almost going to represent both sides like an eternity.
There you go.
Same way they could win. They're third in scoring overall. And they're also third in turnover margin. And to that point, you know me, I love a team that doesn't turn the ball over. When you watch the Sixers every night, well, not every night, but like, especially when I used to watch them a lot, not so much anymore because of the said turnover, Zach. Baylor's the opposite. They turned the ball over 28 times in 4 games.
Wow.
Think about that. The Sixers do that in 1 game. So, I mean, I'm joking, but you know what I mean? But like, that's basically 7 a game. That's like 3.5 a half. That's nothing. So you're barely giving. So think about that. When you literally have your foot on the gas pedal and you're scoring at such an aggressive clip and you're not giving teams possessions, that means they got to basically hold serve with you. And most teams can't do that, especially if you're one of the best teams in the nation doing it. They can't hold that with you. So that's That's the scary thing. Look at Scott Drew, their coach. He's got the 8th best tournament winning percentage right now of active coaches. That's no slouch, right? Let me see what else they got. They led by 18 against Arkansas at halftime. They led by 25 against Houston at halftime. They've won 23 straight non-conference games. Baylor's 10-2 against top 25 teams this year. They've led by 10-plus points in 26 of their 29 games. They've led in all 29 of their games. Davion Mitchell, by the way, is just an absolute superstar. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. They're good, but those are not just like, hey, Zach, did you know that the last time they played, they lost in 1948 to Kentucky? Like, that's like a fun stat to throw out there, but that doesn't mean anything. Those other stats mean something. They're not giving, like I said, they're not giving the other team possessions. They're very efficient. They play clean basketball. Right? I mean, this is not the team we talked about, 14 months ago?
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, that type of efficient basketball will take you all the way to the championship as it has so far. So, my only, I guess, caveat would be is that Gonzaga, I know they narrowly just beat UCLA, but UCLA is a good shooting team. Baylor's a good shooting team. Gonzaga still found a way to beat them. So you live and die by the sword of shooting, and we'll see what happens. But, hey, Baylor's been playing that efficient basketball is beautiful to watch. So to your point.
Well, and here's the thing, because I have some interesting tidbits for Gonzaga, but all of them. See, what's interesting about this is Baylor shows me a very direct way of putting it, right? Like, they don't turn the ball over, they shoot they shoot well. So it's kind of simple. If they turn the ball over and they don't shoot well, you know that it's going to Jekyll and Hyde, a different team's going to show up, kind of thing. With Gonzaga, they're much more of a framework of consistency. And I'll read this stuff off. So, first of all, they've won. Okay, so they played the Big 12 in the last. Well, all right. So the last 10 times they played against the Big 12 conference, they won 8 of 10, and all those have been on neutral sites. They're 3-0 against the Big 10 this year in particular. They were supposed to actually play each other on December 5th, so it's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's 4 months and a day to the day or whatever. Or no, actually no, it's
exactly
4 months.
4 months. Yeah,
exactly 4 months. But I don't know how to do math anymore. All right, so Gonzaga's been in 22 straight tournament appearances. Like I said, six straight Sweet 16s. They lost the national championship in 2017. They've had 5 straight 30-win series or seasons. I can't even talk. And then, they're just so deep. Right? Anyone on their team can score, and that's obviously why they're so efficient offensively. And here's another fun little tidbit for you: the last NCAA tournament, they actually played each other.
Is that right?
2019. Yeah. It was in the second round. Gonzaga beat him 83-71. Baylor was a 9 seed. It's the 9th time that two 1 seeds have met. Let's see what else. I'm going to run through all of them. I have a really fun stat for you. Do you know the last time Baylor hasn't hit a 3 in a game was 31 years ago? It was 1990 against Texas Tech. All right, but anyway, I can throw all these different stats at you and roll it out there, but you can basically see the picture I'm trying to paint is that really Gonzaga's been a model of consistency, but
yeah,
basically my question. Let me ask it to you in this way: if they don't if they don't win in such a dramatic fashion, I say lucky, but you know what I mean, like a thrilling way, are we talking about that? Are we saying, can Baylor beat Gonzaga? I mean, no one can beat them. Is that the tone if they beat UCLA by 12?
I think so. I think it's still the tone because of the way Baylor's been beating teams.
Well, so I guess that's the thing. Is it more about Baylor just absolutely just mashing teams, rolling through this thing, or is it so much like Gonzaga, the last game being it's a little bit of both?
Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit of both, but I think the way Baylor's been running through teams, I think that might be, the biggest scare or headline here going into it.
I also find it interesting that I saw Gonzaga's 22-3 in the last 25 games against teams that they rank higher than in the tournament. So they don't lose to people unless it's maybe above their competition. But I don't know. And also, Gonzaga's 5-2 in the Big 12 or against the Big 12 in the NCAA tournament altogether. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how much any of that means. It's what it is. You can chew on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Baylor's
never beat them, by the way.
Well, there you go. So now they're going to beat them tonight. Now that you said that,
I was going to say, so if they played 5 straight times, Mark Few, the coach of Gonzaga, was coach of 4 of those 5 times they beat them, and all of them were on neutral sites.
Interesting.
Yeah, how about that, right?
So they were all in some type of tournament play, I guess.
Yeah, or like early in the season.
Yeah. Huh.
And well, this is actually perfect. Let's just jump into it. So they're asking us on the chat, what are our predictions for tonight, Zachary? The spread's 4.5 for
Baylor's getting 4.5, right?
Yeah. So not that I'm asking you to like put it in that term, but just out of curiosity, what do you think?
I think it's Gonzaga's year. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. Obviously, I think it's going to come down to that spread margin. For some free throws at the end. But I think it's Gonzaga's year.
I'm going to go 78-76 Gonzaga.
There you go.
There you go.
I saw the money line was Gonzaga minus 200, I think, like the other day.
Yeah, I know. So you're basically risking double your money to.
I think he did. I don't know. It's tough because Baylor could easily beat them, But I don't know. I say Gonzaga.
I would too.
Like you were talking about.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this before. Real quick, should we do? Let's do a little bracket update. So, for anyone just jumping on the show, I know we talked about it a couple minutes ago, but we'll get how do you want to do this? We'll announce the prize on social media. Well, we already have the prizes.
We'll announce the rundown of the winners this week.
Yeah, I should have said a prize update. It was more of but anyway, do you want to real quick? I'm debating. Do you want to go baseball or do you want to go Masters now?
We do a little touch on baseball if you want.
Do a little baseball real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so the Marlins are doing real quick. Live action shots. They were down 3-0. They lost the first game. I'll do my little recap on the Marlins real quick. Not that anyone cares, but no one's going to give it to them. So I got to give it to the people. They lost the first game 1-0. That wasn't really inspiring, although Sandy Alcantara threw a gem. And then let's see. Then they were up 4-2, Zach, with 1 out in the 9th, and then Anthony Bass gave it to me in the ass and gave up a 3-run homer, and that was that. So, yeah, then the Marlins lost that game, so they're 0-2, and then they found a way to rally on Saturday and win 1-2. And now they're losing right now. But they have a guy on first. Come on, Birdie, what do you say? I
got to ask. These first, we'll just say the first 10 games of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much weight do we put in these first 10 games?
I put way too much because I am like literally for the first time in 17 years, I'm like a cicada crawling out of the ground, like after that 17-year hibernation period. So I can't stop like making that weird like hissing noise because I just want to watch the Marlins. But yeah, I'm not a normal person to answer that question, but I would say a normal person would say not that much. You just want to make sure people stay healthy. You don't like lose like 2-8 or like be 2-8 in that loop. As long as you're like relatively close to 500, you're fine.
I would say, yeah, if you're like 4-6, 5-5, 6-4, as long as you're in that or better, obviously that's great. It builds a good little, cohesiveness and some mojo.
Well, I was gonna say, do you ever have? It's kind of a weird way of putting it, but do you ever have those moments as a fan when the season starts for any of your teams, and like the Dodgers, for example, they're obviously the odds-on favorites to win MLB. The Patriots, like back in the day with their dynasty, like whatever, like those types of teams. And you kind of like look and let's say like you're 1-2, but they're 1-2 too, and you're like, okay, it's all right, it's all good. Like the Celtics or whatever, they're supposed to win the Eastern Conference. It's like okay, but they start off like 2-6. You're like, oh, we're fine. We're 3-5. We're fine. They're 2-6, so we're good. Everybody's good. Like you almost like try. It's almost like look when you're a kid looking around when you fail the test, but if you saw like the smartest kid in the class also fail, you're like, it's all good, I failed, it's all right, it's okay, everyone failed. Like, you know what I mean? Like if everyone else is failing around you, feel better, but like if it's just you're just like, oh no. And that's kind of how I feel with this.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it for sure. Like, if I agree, because it's like, oh well, if they're in the same position as we are, then maybe we're not in that bad of shape. Because like if they
exactly
do, whatever. So a little bit of it levels the playing field, we'll say a little bit. But
what about you? What do you say? What do you say for the first 10 games?
Well, I mean, I think, I put a little bit of weight, but again, I just think if you stay around 500, like at worst, like 3-7, at worst, depending on how you're losing, I just think as long as it's health, it's getting kind of in the flow, seeing, your pitchers, the bullpen, and trying to shake the rust off from a batting perspective, which, Giancarlo Stanton can't seem to do. But besides that. And the whole Yankees offense for that matter, besides Gary Sanchez. Dude, I don't know. Hey, speaking of in our fantasy baseball, I drafted him in our fantasy baseball.
You took Stanton?
I did, late. Like he
slipped.
I took him like the 20th round. I was like, all right, well, I got to at least take a flyer on the guy hits home runs, like, you know, so.
Yeah.
But I think he's like 1 for 8 or 1 for 10 or 0 for 0 and 8, something crazy, horrible to start the season. So, but good thing I got JD Martinez to fill in when he's not playing well. So,
and it's when I'm looking at the chat too. I thought an interesting point about how it's more advantageous for the pitchers, it's more advantageous for the hitters. It's funny because I also just heard. I go back and forth with this one because I was also hearing people say, well, it takes longer for the hitters to catch up to the pitchers, like, which I always thought it was the other way around. I agree with the chat, and I agree. I always thought that maybe the hitters had a leg up earlier in the season, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. And one thing I've noticed more and more over the last couple of years, as much as, you know, statistics and all that nonsense has been thrown into the game, is I've noticed a lot of pitchers only throwing like 4 innings in the first game. They have like 60 pitches, 4 innings, they're out. It's like, really, what was the point of spring training if you're going to do that? It kind of irritates. I get it because you want to burn them out, I guess. But at the same point,
I'm so torn.
Come on.
Well, dude, and then you got what's it called on the Angels, Ohtani.
Ohtani, yeah.
Oh my God! Did you see that home run he had last night?
Yeah, he ropes a home run. What was it? 115 exit miles per hour.
He's a pitcher, so he can hit triple digits. He's a starting pitcher. He's hitting triple digits, and then he's their 2-hitter.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's incredible. I like want this B-roll to like roll around again so you can see like the moonshot he hit.
Yeah, it was 115 miles per hour exit velocity, and he threw for a 101 mile per hour fastball in the same inning. Like he's just 100 miles per hour plus in everything he does. It seems.
And
like.
I love that. Here you go. Look at this. Whew.
And
it's awesome. It's like Babe Ruth. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like when we played Little League baseball, like you could do both. You could pitch and be a good hitter, but like in the MLB, you rarely saw that.
And most guys did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you played Little League, like you said, most guys were, like, your best pitcher is usually your best hitter.
Yeah, because they know the movement they can tell the movement of the ball, and yeah, they just have that timing down. Yeah, but
it's so cool to see, and I hope he stays healthy. Just kind of see how that all plays out.
That's been an issue for him, you know, throughout his career. But, yeah, I agree. Hopefully he does, because you pair him with Trout and the rest of the talent around that team, you know, they could be dangerous.
Yeah, no, for sure. Speaking of dangerous, betting on the Masters can be dangerous, so don't do it. Just, you know, did you remember that wild thing that FanDuel did? That promo back in November with like the birdie wheel.
Oh, I do. Yeah, and of course the guy that I took literally had 1 birdie, so it didn't matter. But that'd be cool if they did it again, though.
I had was it Xander Schauffele? Is that his name?
Xander Schauffele. Yeah.
Yeah. He crashed.
Well, that's right, because he was in contention.
He was rolling. He was like basically had like. All right, so actually, let's do a little jump. Let's jump into the Masters. It's Masters Monday, right? So I'm going to ask you this question off the top, Zach, and well, actually, real quick before let me actually, I gotta do my production here, Zach, and get the link for everybody. But first of all, it's just so cool just to see the pictures and the light, like just that beautiful, the shine off the green of the course, and just the birds chirping and the whole getup. It's just
the azaleas, everything. Oh yeah.
You know your botany stuff, huh?
Well, it's because I watch too much Golf Channel, so they helped me out with that.
But that's pretty good. Wait. So what kind of what do they have there?
The azaleas, and then
that's fun.
You know, driving down Magnolia Lane. You know, the iconic drive when you get to the course. It's definitely on the bucket list to get to.
Oh my God, me too. I'm in the water. Are you in that thing?
No,
raffle.
I should though. I'm not, but I should.
I feel like it's one of those things you're never. It's like when you're a kid and there's always the auction in school, like, oh, guess how many jelly beans? You knew you weren't gonna win. It's always the kid who had like the house in Avalon already that somehow won. Well, it's like, that's great.
It's like playing the lottery in general. You know you're not gonna win, but you got to at least give yourself a shot, I guess. Yeah. So.
Well, to that point, everyone should give your article a shot on the Masters. That was an awesome article, dude. And it's funny because I read it I read it this morning, and I thought to myself, wow, like I had notes. Let me pull up this up. So I dropped the link for everybody, but I had some notes last week to talk about the Masters before we decided to take a hiatus for the week. And a lot of the stuff that you wrote in your article were like things I was going to ask you about last week. Like, hey, Jordan, it was funny because they actually called in the article, hey, I think Jordan Spieth's going to play well in Texas, his hometown. And then, boom, he played well. There you go. It's one of your guys, right? Like, so when I wrote out points in your article, I don't want to – it's your article to give what you want to give away. So I'll let you kind of open it up with maybe just what it's about and just kind of your overall thoughts, which I feel like is also what the article is about. Just your overall thoughts on the Masters this year.
Yeah.
I know you love it.
Yeah, no, sure. Basically, just my overall thoughts. I'm just extremely excited to watch it, and it's my favorite tournament of the year. I think playing at the same golf course for that major tournament every year is extreme. It just makes it even more iconic and that much more memorable, in my opinion. But yeah, my article basically just touched on several trends and storylines heading into the Masters, and one being is Brooks Koepka to me. I'm personally a Brooks fan. I know a lot of people either love or you hate him. I really like Brooks a lot.
He's fun for the game.
He's good for the game. I like his intensity, his confidence personally. I think a lot of people can take away from the confidence. Not, sometimes he says some things that might be a little controversial, but overall, I don't think he means it in a nasty way. He's just confident and he's competitive. But the story on him is, I think it was less than 3 weeks ago. I don't know how it happened, but he slipped and fell, and he damaged ligaments in his right knee, and he dislocated his kneecap. Yeah, he dislocated his kneecap too, and apparently he popped it in right when it happened. He popped it back in place himself, and said it was excruciating, as you would imagine.
Yeah, but
yeah, he had surgery, and rumor was, well, not the rumor, it's true. He was out on the driving range Sunday evening at the Masters, and apparently he according to reporters, that he was hitting the ball well, and he played a couple practice holes with his caddy. So. Hey,
I saw he was tweeting some stuff too. Did you see he was chirping a little bit, saying because I guess people don't sleep on him.
Yeah, he was, and he, when they interviewed him yesterday, he commented, if I thought I was going to finish second, I wouldn't be here. So there's that confidence showing that he
reminds me of Chevy Chase's character a little bit in Caddyshack. There's confidence, but it's not arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like. I like Brooks Koepka too. The thing is, I like Brooks, but I don't like his whole crowd. That's Gucci, bro. I'm all right, just come on, it's not that big of a deal. Just be normal. You don't have to be I love these vibes. I'm the vibe. I love a good vibe, but you don't have to be vibes 24/7 where it's yo, dude, we're surfing, man. Come on, you know what I mean? It's just it's the crowd that's trying to be fun. Where it's just he's fun already. You don't have to overdo it. He is cool. He is Gucci, bro. Just don't overdo it. But it's almost everyone's so excited that it's I'm trying to think of what it is. It almost reminds me of the same way everyone just if I say it's if I had flashcards and we're doing the therapy thing. First thing I say, what comes to your mind? If I say Bryson DeChambeau, it's the first thing you can think of is Hercules crushing the ball, Happy Gilmore style, right? Because it's no one ever talks about any part of his game.
Right.
And those fans are all just yo, dude, I love Bryson. It's just all right, just stop.
And can we talk about Bryson for a second going into this?
Please, it's in my notes. I'd love to.
Okay.
Did I go overboard with the Brooks fan club?
No, you're good. And like I said, that was one of the 4 points I hit on in my article. But speaking of Bryson, was not part of the article, but I was looking at the odds before we went on tonight, and he's moved to now. He's tied for first in the favorite.
Really?
With Dustin Johnson. They're both the favorites at 9.5 to 1. But I will say, the whole DeChambeau hype for the Masters is ridiculous. It's ridiculous because the Masters, it's obviously about putting and short game like any tournament, but it's a tight.
Please let me jump in here real quick because isn't that the whole knock on DJ? He shot, what was it, -20 in November?
Yeah, he did.
He fits the tall, crushing the ball mold before DeChambeau came around. So that's I just want to add that in there.
No, you're right, but his driving accuracy is way better. Way better.
Oh, really?
That's what I was getting to. So DeChambeau's driving accuracy, although he's number one in the average distance at 320, which second place is 319, so he's really not that much further than everybody else. He ranks 133rd in driving accuracy. 133rd. He only hits 58% of his fairways, and the tour average is 59. So he's below the tour average in accuracy. Just by a little bit, but still, he's right there with the average tour player when it comes to accuracy. The Masters is a tight golf course. Augusta's a tight golf course. If you try to bomb it, and his shot that he blocks right almost every other drive, he's going to find himself in the pine straw under trees punching out on every par 5. He's not going to go for any par 5s. I think it's ridiculous that there's all this hype, and I don't understand how he's 9.5 to 1. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, just like Baylor has last year. But I'm not high on DeChambeau whatsoever come this tournament. I think the player who's going to win the Masters is someone who's had success there before, and someone who can hit a fairway more often than not. and has a controlled game that's not sporadic where they miss shots, every third shot, like off the tee. So.
No, I love that tee because it's funny. I look at the course and I'm just like, I can't. Like just pretending for fun. If like you had 3 wishes, I'd be like, I would obviously kill to play there, but I know I would just be tree. It'd be like Pickering Valley, but just like the heaven version of it. Mm-hmm. By the way, I love the chat. We got some great stuff in the chat here. By the way, Uncle Ricky saying go Zags. By the way, real quick, we'll get back to the Masters in a second. Did you see that it was the Fury fight that's gonna be coming up soon?
Yeah, against Anthony Joshua. Yeah.
Yeah, is that gonna be big?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think Tyson Fury is a little bit in a league of his own right now, but I don't know. We'll dive into some of that analysis.
Well, I was going to say, we got some boxing notes at the end of the show with Sonny, too. So, right. Real quick, getting back to the Masters, it's funny because I even saw another person in the chat was saying that, they just love the scenery. It's like, how can you not? Look at, just coming off the water. Oh, yeah. Gotta love
it. Yeah. So, I'll give you one, like, in the middle of the road. I'll give you 3 picks if you want to hear, like, who I think.
Oh, I'm all in, yeah.
Like, one who's kind of in the favorite category, one in the middle, and one who's a long shot.
Yeah.
So, I think in the favorite who I would pick is John Rahm. I think he's 13-1 odds. His last 3 years, 2008 he was 4th, 2019 tied for 9th, and last year tied for 7th. His last 3 Masters, he was always in the top 10. He has success there. And I wrote this in an article.
I did see that actually in an article last week. He's had a lot of top 10 finishes.
Yeah, and I had that in mind as well. And he just had him and his wife just welcomed their first baby. He's an emotional guy. I think that plays a little bit of a role. How he's going to be excited. He's got he might be not as tense on the course like he usually is. He's going to be a little bit loose. I think he's going to play really well.
Yeah, see, I was so curious about that pick because it's like. And what's funny because is the worst analogy I could use right now because he's playing out of his mind. But I was going to say I feel like that's the Justin Thomas effect, where it's like he's always in the top 10, but it's just like never going to actually win it. Like, so that's my, there's one name I had on my notes. Hold on, I got to pull this up real quick. Let me look at I'll just look at like FanDuel or something and pull up the guy's name because I saw there was a dark horse Zach. I wanted to ask what you thought about this guy. And I honestly, didn't hear I didn't really know too much about him.
Was it Will Zalatoris?
It wasn't. It was Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah, Patrick Cantlay. What's he like? 20-something to 1 or 30-something?
So you'd be risking 10 to win 200.
So he's 20-1.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So thank you for doing the math.
Yeah, no,
I got the numbers here. Zach makes sense.
He's had some decent success there too. I feel like this season he's kind of been a little streaky, but doesn't mean he can't win, for sure. I think he has what it takes. I mean, he's won some big tournaments.
Well, and let me ask you this. Tell me more about the Jordan Spieth idea in your article. Right, like he played really well this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so going into this weekend, I think he had three tournaments this season where he had the 54-hole lead or he was tied for the lead, and he didn't seal the deal. This past weekend, he went over the hump and he sealed the deal. He won, obviously. But the biggest thing to me that showed that he's really back, he's hitting his driver the best I've ever seen in his career, to be honest with you. Because even when he was winning back 4, 5, 6 years ago, his driver was sporadic and his scrambling was what saved him and why he won so many tournaments. But his driver at the Texas Open was like dialed in. And I think if he carries that over to Augusta, which he's already had success, and in reality, he should have probably won there twice in his career. But we all know what happened at the par 3 on number 12.
Wait, what happened?
He hit his ball in the water. It was a par 3 over.
Oh wait, you're saying in Augusta?
Yeah, back in.
I thought you meant this Texas thing. I was like, wait, I don't remember anything else.
No. I'm saying
I do remember that.
Yeah, But anyway,
I remember texting one friend saying, "Take him live now. You should take him live now."
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
that's an apology text you got to send after that.
Yeah, exactly. But no, because of his driver and because we saw his short game, is just everything about his game right now is dialed in, and it's honestly some of the best I've seen out of him, where he's not scrambling all the time to win. And I think if he can keep that up, I think he can absolutely win again at Augusta. There's another guy who's always had success there when he's played. So.
By the way, real quick, that tournament this weekend, was it the Valero Open or whatever it was?
The Texas Open, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that one hole, was it 16? When we did that segment a few weeks ago with Chad about if you could play a hole, and I did the one in Scottsdale, and you did
Pebble Beach,
Chad did the
18.
one. Which one did you do? You did Pebble Beach 18?
Yeah.
and then he did 17 at TPC Sawgrass.
Yep.
Dude, that one with like the trap in the middle of the green, that was awesome. I never saw it before.
I know. Yeah, that's deadly. I couldn't even imagine.
Oh my god! Could you imagine we'd be talking about that one? Be like, Zach, what do we do? We go this way, this way. Like it's fun how it opens up on the side, so you can play the sides if you want. But like,
that's a scary one. But
I know, and especially it's like if you look on like on TV, it looks like it's normal, but it's like that's literally like this much. Like there's nothing to it.
No, I know exactly. My middle,
go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
My middle of the road he's 37-1 is Webb Simpson. He's won there before. He's playing well this year, and he's I think in the top 5 or top 10 in driving accuracy, which I think is super important at this tournament, as I alluded to. Then I have a really fun one. He's 180-1. The South African Dylan Fratelli.
Really?
Oh yeah. Where did he finish at the match play the other week? I think he was in the top 4 for match play at whatchamacallit, when they were in Dallas or Austin. He finished tied for 5th last year at the Masters. So he's familiar with the course. And he's accurate. He's a great putter. I don't know. He's kind of starting to show himself more and more this year. Could be a little, you risk $2 to win $360, like something light.
It's better than buying a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
better chance of actually like winning something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and let me ask you this. I saw too in your article that you had a little Aussie love.
Yeah,
hey, we love them on our show.
That's right.
They love us. We love them.
Yeah.
So I'll say, not to be like, hey Zach, why don't you read the article for all of us? But you might just go into a little bit of that point because I love that part where it was like you broke down some of the little trends there too. And when I read it, I was like, oh my god, he's right. I didn't even think about that.
It's kind of crazy. Like it kind of alternates between it's Adam Scott, Mark Leishman, Cameron Smith, and Jason Day. Like the four of them constantly. There's at least 2 of them in like the top 15 every year at the Masters.
All the time.
Yeah. So like if you're doing a bet on finishing position, it's a pretty safe bet to take at least one of those guys in the top 30, I would say. But I mean, Adam Scott won in 2013 against Angel Cabrera in a playoff, which was pretty remarkable. It was raining and everything. That's the picture that was in the article. But Cameron Smith last year was neck and neck with Dustin Johnson the whole way, and he came in second. Jason Day this year has been very consistent, finishing a lot of top 10s, top 20s, and he's a guy who's also, again, same thing with the Masters. Those 4 guys, long story short, are just always there. They're always there at Augusta.
Yeah, they always are. That's a perfect way to put it.
Especially Mark Leishman. I mean, I think Mark Leishman is the most consistent out of all 4 of them at the Masters. Like you'll see him probably in the top 10 or top 5 after round 1 easily, and then he kind of hangs around the whole weekend.
Well, let me pick your brain on this then. Who's someone that's like not going to be there? Like I mean, I'm not going to say, hey, is it Bryson DeChambeau? I know you didn't love his odds. You didn't love him being. I mean, I'm sure you think he's going to make the cut, but like, is there someone that you look and you're just like, I don't know, like I'm not going to say this is your answer. It's almost like we haven't talked about Rory at all. It's like that fit the bill. Like where is it?
That's exactly what I was going to.
Really?
Say.
He's won there before, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't. He needs to.
No, he hasn't.
If he wins the Masters, he'll have the career Grand Slam. So it's a really big tournament, like of emphasis for him. And I like Rory. I like him. I think he's a great guy and a great player. But he's as we saw throughout the season so far, he's got a 2-way miss going right now. Like in golf, like I think we were texting about this a little bit. Like if you're gonna miss it, if you hit a fade every time, that's great because now you know you can aim to the left, and if you miss, it's a pull. You're dead straight to the left. And then if you hit normal, it's a fade. But if you're missing it both left and right, it's like where are you aiming off the tee box? You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel confident.
Makes me feel better because I thought you were just being nice to me when I was saying I was drawing everything. By the way, I had a horror show at the range. I went to the range this weekend too, and it was horrible. I can't shake that draw out of my game, dude. I went to the golf center too, but not far from you. I should have texted you actually. Like, is that where you went?
I was there on Saturday.
That's where I was.
Oh, there you go.
What time did you go?
Like 3 o'clock.
All right, so I probably went at like noonish.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Damn. I gotta text you next time because I didn't. As I drove by, I was like, "Oh, that's right. There's like Zach's over there." Like, and I just kept going. I didn't think. Yeah. All right. Next time, anytime I go out there, because dude, I love like the little chipping they got out there. It's like a free plug for the golf zone out.
I know it's great. They have simulators indoor too.
So I saw they had like a little thing with like Top Golf, I guess, that you can like.
Well, it's the same thing as the place in Malvern. It's the same deal that they have.
Oh,
there.
Really? And they just like measure your distance and stuff.
Yeah, but you can play courses too. Like you could play Pebble Beach there, technically, in the simulator.
Oh my God! All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's cheaper than the other place too, by the way.
All right, we might have to go. Do you ever paintball there, by the way?
They do paintball, and they have go-karts. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I used to drive the go-karts all the time before I had my license, thinking that was like the coolest thing ever.
Oh, it was so fun.
Oh, yeah. All right, but anyway, back to the show. Real quick, I'm trying to think. We went through dark horses. We went through under. Is there any other tidbits that you kind of want to roll out there that maybe is just unique about this? And if not, I'll add a question in there. Being, do you expect the scores to be as low and wild as they were in November? Like, how much different is that course you think going to play in April compared to November?
I think the course is going to be a lot firmer, like it usually is. Like I think in November it was a lot softer, and that's why you saw so many players kind of just eating the course alive, instead of the course eating them alive. So I don't think you're going to see that 20 under or even the high teens, to be honest. You might see 10, 11, 12 tops, but it's going to play a lot firmer because of the time of the year, just because of the way they're able to prepare the course. So,
look, and I was going to say, for like people that it's fine. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle of this crowd. What do you mean by firmer? Like, I get what you mean by like the ground and et cetera, but like for someone who doesn't know anything about golf, like what does that mean? Like, it's a firmer course. If anything, I would almost take that as, well, the ball will stick there, right? Like it's like I don't like paint a picture of like how important that is and like what it's like.
Yeah, so if it's firm, that means like, hey, that's good for the fairways because the ball is going to roll, But it could be good or bad actually because it could roll into the rough technically. But what that would mean is like the greens are not soft. Like if a green is soft, that means like the ball is going to stick when it lands on the green more often than not. But these greens are a lot firmer and the edges kind of run off. They're more round. So like when you fly a ball into the green, the chances of it sticking are a lot less likely, whereas on a soft course, the green will kind of soak the ball in and it'll just stay right there, if not plug a little bit, and leave a little divot. But I think with it being firmer means like if your ball hits the green, it could bounce and roll off, whereas if it's soft, it could bounce and stay. It's like a sponge.
So basically, it's almost like comparing it to like almost like fast green.
Yeah, like a fast green.
Like you don't want a fast green, like a firm course, and then like a soft or a slow greens, like a slow, like a soft course.
Right. All right. Exactly. Yeah. Like the softer the course, typically the more like a pro is able to score because the ball is more easy to control on the green.
I love that. Okay. Bill, we want to hear from the chat, by the way, for national championship and master predictions. Throw them in here. Let's hear from you guys. You guys were asking for us earlier. Let's hear from you. And all that being said, real quick, do you want to jump in a little football chat while we're cooking in the chat?
Oh yeah, some big news.
Do you want me to share this story about how I found out Sam Darnold got traded tonight?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I love this. This was phenomenal. So Joe G calls me on his way home from work. Well, he's driving into the city. And he was talking about how he was sitting in traffic on 76. I joked around as we were getting off the phone, and I said, "Oh, well, feel free," because obviously he loves golf and he loves, the Masters and everything. And I said, "Oh, feel free to tune in. We'll be doing some Masters Saturday night." And he was like, "Oh, nice. Like, what else are you talking about?" And I was just running through like what we were going to be chatting about on the show. And I said something about the NFL, and he was like, "Oh, that's great." And Sam Darnold got traded too, and that's crazy. And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, like Sam Darnold got traded." I'm like, "When?" Like, when did this happen? I was on the call for work from 4 to 6. Then I got done the call at 6, and I started working on the production for the show. And apparently Sam Darnold got traded in this time period, Zachary. By the way, I love it. And we got Carol in the chat saying, Zach's all about, I love this. Yeah. But let me ask you this. So, does this matter, this trade? When you told me the compensation, this doesn't really do it for me. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Jets get a 6th-round pick in this year's draft and then a 2nd and a 4th next year. Doesn't really do much for me either. I don't know. I guess you could say Sam Darnold's reunited with Robbie Anderson for whatever that's worth.
and all right, I will say this. Apparently, this is probably clickbait, but I read somewhere on Twitter that that apparently Matt Rule really liked Sam Darnold, and that's why I interviewed for the Jets job, and then I really wanted him. So, I don't know.
Well,
like, of course, now stuff like Teddy Bridgewater may or may not want to stay. It's like, of course he wants to leave. Like,
yeah. And now he's got Christian McCaffrey. He definitely has the most weapons he's ever had in his career now down in Carolina, which isn't saying much, but they have more weapons than he had in the Jets. So,
and he and Robbie Anderson did have a little rapport. I mean, that's why Robbie Anderson got a contract. Like, really, he wasn't catching touchdown passes and doing things, right? The Carolina Panthers wouldn't have signed him for as much money as they did.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. So, I mean, we'll see. We know that division is it's a gauntlet. So, who knows what to expect with the Panthers. I think they're on the uptrend a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know if either team won this trade, to be honest with you. So
I feel like the Carolina Panthers are like the Washington Wizards of the NBA, where it's like, yeah, I mean, they could be solid. Like, it could be a fun ride, but probably not.
But they're just never get there.
It's never actually going to really announce anything. Like,
I know. Yeah, I know. So, I mean, this pretty much just solidifies that the Jets are taking quarterback at number 2.
Yeah.
As everyone kind of thought. So,
yeah, definitely. And let me ask this. So there was more NFL news that was made. So the 17-game schedule will be released probably some point this month. The announcements are made of the matchup, Zach, and quite frankly, I'm. It's look at the chat. They say they shocked he went to Carolina. I agree. That's not a place I was looking to see Sam Darnold get traded. I was kind of shocked when I heard the news too. But real quick, looking at it's funny. We got the Jets play the Eagles. I was kind of curious to see if Carolina plays the Texans. That's good for them.
Yeah. Giants.
But anyways, what do you think of this? And you guys got the Dolphins. Yeah, like down there too. It's just like that's the worst. That's so unfun of a game because people are like, we should win. It's like, why? It's down there. Like, you never win those games down there. Not you, but I mean the Packers never do. I should say, but. I don't know. All right, before we just start getting personal, because I'm going to start whining about going to Arrowhead in a second. Let's talk about it for a second. From an outward perspective, as football junkies, what do we think about this, Zach?
I'm personally not a fan. Listen, I love watching football. Would love as much, more games, but in this case, I don't really like it because I view it more from like a historical perspective, and I think you feel the same way. So now it's like, okay, so and so ran for 1,500 yards, okay, but like he did it with an extra game, like everything's gonna have a little asterisk next to it now. Oh, he did this in this amount of games, I just hate that.
About that.
I hate that, and I also don't like how it's uneven now. So now you're gonna have a team with one extra away game or a team with one extra home game, and it's like there's not an even balance of home and away now either.
With I hate it. I hate everything. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're right. Everything you're saying is right. I'm ready to just take like a dog off the leash the minute you let me go. So,
yeah, no, it's really that, and I don't know. They better since this is happening, they better not have like week 4 bye weeks anymore. They got to start having bye weeks a little bit further out if this is going to
They should have given 2. Too. Like I would have been down for that. Cut one more preseason game out and give him an extra bye week. I would love. As I've gotten older, I relish the bye. Go for it. Get him healthy. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Do 18 weeks and 2 bye weeks or something like that.
Yeah. So, I'm down for that.
Yeah, and hey, that's player safety, all that good stuff.
Right. And here's what I hate, and I tweeted this out when you did the great social media question for us. I was like, there's never a point when week 17 rolls around where I start itching like, God, I could really use another regular season game. No, if anything, I'm actually like getting itchy for the playoffs around week 15 where I'm just like, it's a formality at this point. Like, just play well, play well. Yeah, like it's. I know it's like, oh, good problem to have, but I'll almost spit it back on you, not to be like this guy. Okay, so the Giants win that game against Dallas, right? Now you have another game. Yeah. It's like, you just got to win it. Like, it's not like, oh, well, thank God we have that extra game. It's just like, if anything, the best part about football is that you got to watch every week because if they don't win, we did the whole math last year. It's like 10 baseball games worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So not anymore. It's like 8, 7. But it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like, my point. It's just like, I'm with you. It's I don't get. There's nothing about this where I'm like, I like this. Mm-hmm. But you know what the worst part is? That's what almost pisses me off the most, Zach, is because they know that that's not what this is about. What's about is, are you going to watch it? Of course you're going to watch it. It's a game day.
But the money and the ratings. Yeah.
The only win in all this possibly could be is if it's on the Super Bowl's the day, like President's Day is the next day. So like the majority of people. All right, there you go. Come on, Brian. Of course, I took him out of my starting fantasy lineup tonight. I know I caught him. I caught Brian Anderson in my fantasy baseball lineup and he just hit a double. Anyway, sorry. That's just, I got to, we're talking about football, fantasy. No, by the way, let me ask you this. This is complete. Let's get sidetracked here for a split second. And I know this is completely like the viewers are going to be like, why are we watching this? This has nothing to do with our lives. I kind of like the fantasy baseball because it's almost just like, just taking a few cuts in the cage. I don't care at all. I don't do any research. It's like just thinking about fantasy football or just waiver wires. Like you're thinking about things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, like when I was doing the draft, like I was trying to strategically get certain players, because I knew that it was that rotisserie style where it's all statistical. Like you try to get like people who have stolen bases, RBIs, all that stuff. I thought that was cool, but yeah, you're right. I probably won't be doing too much when it comes to waiver pickups and
honestly, I love doing that. Just dropping and just going all for it. You gotta just go for it.
Yeah, unless someone totally sucks on my team, I'll probably just maintain what I got.
By the way, can Miggy Rowe get a hit here for the Marlins? We got a guy on second with 1 out. It's a 1-0 count. We're down 3-0. This is why you buy. I love Miguel Rojas. So, oh my god, I don't know. I know. It's like when I talk about the Marlins, I love all you guys. You all have the same reaction. It's like, that's cool. Like, just like I know. I
just don't know much about them.
No, I know. Oh, you all right? I love watching them though. I really do. I know they might not make the playoffs, but
well, that's like me with the Sabres. I like watching them, but
Right? Yeah, it's fun. It's just fun. It's that point. Should we get to a little Mojo Monday?
Yeah, let's do a little Mojo.
Real quick before we jump into it, do you want to do let's see what we got here. Let me pull it up. Dude, Sonny's fight's coming up on Saturday. That's what I was gonna say. Real quick, so it's the same. So it's correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm gonna lean on you as the fighting aficionado. You know, it's funny, too. I mean, I'm always like, hey, Zach, you're the fight guy. Oh, come on. Sorry. Watching the Marlins not produce on offense. But you're one of the most calm, mellow people I've ever met. Like, and it's funny. Like, you know everything about the MMA, the boxing. Big fight for Sonny. I mean, I think it's the same guy, Waldo Cortez, that he was supposed to fight.
Same guy he was supposed to fight. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I mean, I personally think that Waldo got scared when he saw Sonny in fighting shape, and played the whole sick card. But I don't know. I think it's going to be
the Bronco.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty. I think he's going to mop the floor with them. But we'll see what happens. It should be good. I think they're fighting down Oklahoma City or Tulsa, Oklahoma, somewhere down there.
Tulsa.
Yeah. So not quite Las Vegas, but it will be good. So it'll be good to see.
No.
It's on ESPN. You catch it on ESPN Plus, right? His fight.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm so pumped. Yeah, it'll be a good time. But yeah, at that point, let's get pumped up. Let's do a little Mojo Monday. We haven't done it in a while. It's been a second.
There you go. I know.
Dancing. Get the vibes out.
Perfect.
I wish I could dance like Michael Jackson. Probably the only thing I wish I could be like Michael Jackson, but just that's about it. But that's that's all right. Nonetheless, and I almost would kick off a little Mojo Monday real quick. With the Rangers being the first team or just sporting event with full fans, that's almost like a communal Mojo Monday. I feel like, right? You saw the video of them earlier today with a full house. But Zach, I'll flip over to you. What do you got for your Mojo Monday?
Yeah, so I prefaced this in our show chat where I said this is not a shot at the Flyers because it's really not. It's just more so it's embarrassing for the Sabres, but
no, it's also embarrassing for the Flyers.
But
no, this is not a Flyers segment. Go for it. This is your moment.
Oh, you're good. So the record for most consecutive losses in the NHL is 18, and the Sabres tied that. And last Wednesday against the Flyers, if they would have lost, then they would have been the record holders. And thankfully, for the Sabres fans like myself, we won 6-1. So it ended the skid at 18 games, and we did not set the record. We just tied it. And I would also like to say that Don Granato, our interim head coach, he's doing a much better job than Kruger. We've got 7 points in our last 5 games. So while there's no shot we make the playoffs, it's nice to see a little bit of positive and forward momentum, start to build.
Yeah. Oh no, trust me, it definitely is. And I'm like, obviously, like. I look at it's like, yeah, it is. Isn't it great they beat the Flyers? The Flyers suck. All right, let me put it this way. Okay,
you guys are only 4 points out of the playoffs.
I love how this is Mojo Monday, and now I'm getting like rallied up. There's certain teams. Yeah, well, it's like that. That meme with James Franco and the Gallows, and he's like, first time, huh? Like that's literally how I feel as a every year. Oh, look at this Easter. What are we doing? The Flyers are fluttering around playoff positioning. Oh, God. Marlins can't get a hit. Can Jorge Alfaro just hit the ball once, please? Like, that's all I'm asking for. Sorry. No, there you go. There's a connection. You know him.
He can't. Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway. No, but that no, all right. I needed him to ground out so then I would stop talking about the Flyers. This is a Sabres segment. And you're right. It's good that they broke that. And they'll grow from this. Like they're not as bad. And this year's just a complete wash with COVID, and they were riddled with it. I mean, they'll be better than what this year showed. I think
there's going to be a big time shake up with our roster come next season. I think we're going to be completely different.
Rosters renaissance in the off season.
Yeah, I don't even know if Eichel will be there next year, but we'll see.
It'd be fun. A little shake up. And by the way, real quick, I love what the chat was saying too. Like, and this is something we kind of were mentioning a little bit. How they're not a fan of the 17-game schedule because right, it's like in a world where the NFL is preaching about safety. Mm-hmm. How is this safety? Like you were saying earlier,
another game. Yeah.
It's not about money. I love that. There's a. Oh, sorry. What was that?
I was saying, instead of having a fourth preseason game where you have an average guy trying to bust his tail and make a living and make a roster, instead of that, we're going to cut that back and we're going to add a game where people are knocking each other's heads off. You know, it doesn't really make much sense. But it's that greed. It's the corporate greed.
All the while, think of it this way: the only thing that really changes, let's say, I don't know, you're like, I was trying to do the math in my head. If you're 13-3, or 13-2. Let's say you're 13-2. It's like, oh, you got the division locked up. You got like everything pretty much locked up. So what? Yeah, take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off. That's not fair for someone that buys week 16 tickets. 4 weeks, like I hate it. I hate everything about it. But you know what? Why don't we I'll go to a football-related thing, but then I'll actually not be in football. My Mojo Monday, Zachary. My knight in shining armor. My hero. Mr. Aaron Rodgers hosting Jeopardy. Oh, my God. It's fine. I DVR'd it. I saw we had a lower live viewership tonight, and I'm so proud of our audience for not watching our show tonight because you shouldn't have. He was hosting Jeopardy tonight at 7 o'clock, and if so help me God and was watching our show and was not watching him, I don't care if you like Jeopardy. Watch it. You got to watch it. I ramble. It's funny because I was also thinking, Zach, like, what would I be like if he asked me the question? You know, like if I was on Jeopardy and he was like, here, what do you think? Or like whatever. Like, you know, not that he'd say it like that, but like the like that whole get up. You ever see Christmas Story when like he's sitting on Santa's lap?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, how about football, ironically enough? That's literally, I would be staring at him like a deer in the headlights if I buzzed in. And like the other people would be like, come on, kid. Like, you know, and like, all right, this is not about me hypothetically imagining playing Jeopardy with Aaron Rodgers hosting someday. But to back it up, I think it's really cool that he's hosting it. I think it's cool, too, just like reading about how much effort he put into it and stuff. So I'm excited. I DVR'd it, so I want to see how he does. I think he's going to rock it like he does everything.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
You're not biased, are you? Like,
nah, not at all. I think anyone who likes football, you know, would love to watch it.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch. I mean, I think everyone's intrigued by him. You know what I mean? Like whether you like him or not, I think it's. I don't know. You know me. I love him, so I'm just gonna say he's awesome and everything. But you know, sorry. Yeah. I need this because I was thinking, I was like, well, what do? I gotta watch this and I gotta watch the Marlins. Well, the Marlins are making it pretty easy right now for me to not watch them. All right. You know what? I needed this.
There you go.
I was actually thinking that like midway through the show. I was like, this is so nice just being back talking sports. It's been a minute.
It has.
There's so much fun stuff now coming out. So, dude, Thursday's going to be fun. We got the Masters, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, a little post-first round reaction.
Yeah. Dude, and the draft's coming up.
I know. I can't wait for the schedule release. That should be in the next couple of weeks, I think.
So I think
last year was April 15th.
15th. I was about to say, I think it's going to be the 15th. It's usually the third Thursday in April. They usually kind of.
Yeah.
But I feel like lately they've been doing like the Tuesday. I think like last year they released it a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. It's almost here.
Yeah. And real quick, Seth, we'll announce. We'll announce all the stuff on our social media outlets on those bracket winners too, because obviously we're pumped up for the national championship tonight. And real quick, so if you want to check out our audio episodes, Spotify and iTunes is where you can check all that cool stuff out. Also, make sure you hit us up on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit at _GetSidetracked. And always check out the website, www.get-sidetracked.com. Damn it! I hate the Marlins so much. Why do you have to wrap the foul pole? Oh, God, it's going to be a long baseball season. It really is. All right. Kieran, hey, all right, let's go to Twitch. Make me feel better. Please, everyone, follow to the left, subscribe to the right. I mean, the Marlins can't do anything good, so can everyone else pick me up around the corners here? All right, and then real quick, if it's free, go to YouTube. Definitely free. Subscribe that. I know the bracket's closed right now, obviously, because we're about to give all away the prizes, but Always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love it. We have highlights, interviews, all sorts of cool stuff. And if you're really feeling the vibes, always check us out in the store. We got all sorts of great stuff there. Great, unlike the Marlins pitching staff. Yeah, great stuff. I am pissed off because I was just not really expecting to get up another home run. It's amazing how you're about to be 3-1 and now it's 4-0. So I'm sorry. I'm going to be better. I promise I'll be better.
Early. It's still early.
I know, but it's over. They're not going to win. I know it. It's not going to happen tonight. All right, but a lot of fun. We got a great show Thursday. Will be fun. Like I said, we'll be talking some golf. I mean, there's all sorts of cool stuff. Baseball, although I'm losing my flair by the moment here. But I'll say, any parting thoughts real quick you got for the audience, Zach, before we leave?
Go Zags.
There you go. Yeah, let's go. National Championship tonight. So, we'll break that down, too, I'm sure, on Thursday. We'll talk about that as well. But awesome. I want to thank everyone for chatting in with